Hi everyone and welcome back to Fashion Toolbox. Today I'm going to be discussing a little bit about AI and 3D and how they can work together as a workflow. I do get a lot of questions in this area and people really unsure a little bit about the differences between 3D and AI generated imagery, particularly in fashion, which is what we are talking about here. And I wanted to show you a little bit of the differences, chat a little bit about that, and show you one of the latest softwares that I've been trialing, which is Raspberry AI. So I will go ahead and I will start sharing my screen, and I will talk you through the offers that Raspberry AI has and how you can incorporate it into your workflow. Okay, so here we have the Raspberry AI platform, and as you can see there are quite a few things that you can do within the platform, from creating lifestyle photography that's direct from an AI prompt, creating product photography, which you can use reference images for, but you can also generate direct from a prompt, the prints and patterns from a prompt, sketch to render, which could just be a flat 2D CAD that you load in and then create a more realistic render. Now what I want to make clear here is that this, although it looks 3D, it is not a 3D image. And this is where a lot of people get confused. So it creates that realism in that it looks more 3D, it looks like the imagery that you might see on your e-commerce website platforms, but it's not a 3D design. The difference with creating a 3D design is that you're actually creating the patterns for that product, and you can turn it around and view it in real time in 3D, just like you would if you were viewing a garment. So there are a lot of benefits of using 3D software, but these AI tools can really support that journey. So one of the things that I do like to use quite a lot here is this 3D avatar to photorealism. And this 3D avatar to photorealism allows you to bring in a render from your 3D software, whether that be CLO3D, Browseware, Style3D. You can bring in your rendered imagery and create more photorealism so that it goes from looking like it's on an avatar and it then looks like it's on an actual model, a real life model. So these images can then be used in e-commerce, and I guess it is with the 3D imagery, if you were to create a render straight from a 3D software, people can still relate to it, but it's kind of that uncanny valley in that it looks lifelike, but it doesn't, and that can creep some people out. So the best thing to do is to use a software like this to create a more lifelike image that people can relate to, they can see themselves in it. So I'm going to be showing you a little bit of this today. So I'm going to go into this platform, and what I have done is I've already rendered out a couple of images directly from CLO, and I'm going to bring those in and see what kind of results that we get. So I'm going to take in this image, which I rendered quite a while ago. This is an outfit inspired by Lucy and Yak design. It's a nice summer outfit. I think it was from either last year or the year before. And we're going to take this in and see how much more realistic we can actually make it, so that it doesn't look like it's on an avatar, and we can get some more realism in the fabrications and things like that as well. So to do that, I'm just going to come back here and I can either drop my file directly in, or I can locate it from this button here. So I'm just going to drag it in, which will upload. And the great thing about Raspberry AI as well is that it automatically kind of reads your image, so it will generate a prompt as well. You can choose to use their prompt, or you can create your own from scratch. So the prompt here is a white woman with fair skin and brown hair in a pulled back style wearing a V-neck jumpsuit. Now it's not a jumpsuit, so I might want to adapt this a little bit. And it features a geometric print in the shades of blue, white and green. Her facial expression is neutral and she is wearing brown sandals. So I could accept and tweak it, or I could completely write my own. I think I'm going to accept, and then I'm going to go back and tweak it, because I don't want it to have brown hair, I want it to have blonde hair. And wearing a V-neck top, I'll say long sleeve top, and flared trouser with elasticated waistband, featuring a geometric pattern in shades of blue, white and green. I'm just going to put a little note here about the fabric, because it's a crinkle fabric and I would like that to come across in the generation. So fabric is a crinkle cotton. Okay, so once you're happy with the prompt, then you can just click on generate at the bottom. It does take a couple of minutes to generate, but it gives you 4 different options, which we will have a look through once they come up. So I'll just hit generate. You'll notice up here as well, you've got a couple of additional options. So you can choose for full body realism, which will generate the hands and feet and everything, or you can just choose to refine the face if that's something that you want to do. So you've got 2 options there, and then on your source image you can tell the system whether your original upload is a human avatar, which in this case it was, or if it's a faceless avatar, which would be more like a star mannequin. So you've got those options as well. So we've got all of the options now, which I will load up more full screen. I just wanted to talk you through another couple of things on the left hand side for your guidance and steps, which you can tweak and play around with just to get different options. And also, once you've done your first prompt as well, if anything does come in that you're not really happy with, say, I don't know, I didn't like the white sole on the platform of the sandal, for example, something that you didn't want to see in your imagery, you can put a negative prompt in here. So you can add that there, and then you can regenerate at the bottom to try again. Let's have a little look at the images and see close up if there's anything that we should be concerned about. So it does look, it looks okay. There's a little bit of blur in here around the hands, which we could always clean up in Photoshop. It looks like it has fitted on pretty well. The hem of the trousers is a little bit crisper than I would like, but that all comes through from the 3D render as well. So we could have tried to make this look a little bit more natural in the 3D render first, with the fall of the fabric. But it looks all in all pretty good. Let's go through to the next one. Again, there is a little bit of blurring around the hands, but pretty easy to clean up. There's also a little bit of a step here between the foot and the trouser. Again, easily corrected in Photoshop, but it's something that you don't want to really have to do. Just to crop that out and move it along a little bit, but it's nothing major. And one of the things that I do really like to concentrate on as well is the realness of the hands and feet. I can see on this foot here, I can't zoom right in, but the toes look a little bit strange in the background there. This is something that is very, very common in AI, and it regularly trips up on the hands and feet. Not so noticeable here with it being in the background, but I would like it to be a little bit more realistic than that. Let's have a look at this option. Again, the foot looks quite strange, but the positioning on this front foot is much better. And let's have a look at the last one. Same kind of issue with the hands, but these feet do look better. They are just pretty blurred around the edges. So a couple of things that I would want to go in and tweak again in Photoshop, but let's bring up the original image and just take a look at comparison wise. I want to see if it's brought in any more realism to the fabric itself and the way that it's draped. It's added a little bit of a cuff onto the wrist here, which I quite like because it hasn't got it in the original. Just zoom in a little bit there. Ooh. So there is no cuff there, but they've added one here, which is quite nice. So all in all, I think it has done a pretty good job. And these images could definitely be finessed just a little, just to utilise in e-commerce. And as you can see, this whole process is like, it's almost like you're having a studio photography session, which literally takes a couple of minutes. So it really speeds up that process and that workflow to get imagery really quickly that you could utilise across social media, websites, e-commerce, etc. And it's a really great tool. So I would urge everyone to have a little go with this and trial out the 3D to AI and see what you think. Okay, bye bye.